20 to 22 veterans commit suicide every day, making up 20% of America's suicide rate. Those numbers are according to the Department of Veterans Affairs website, the VA, last updated August 13th, 2015. 13 to 20% of all soldiers and sailors serving in our armed forces in combat environments since September 11th, 2001 are suffering from PTSD. But according to the Washington Times, on August 9th, 2016, as many as 50% of the more than 2 million soldiers that have served in the combat zone in Iraq and Afghanistan aren't reporting that they are suffering from PTSD. As a combat soldier who suffers from PTSD, I can understand not wanting to acknowledge and seek out treatment for PTSD. We go from being treated like we're some sort of a hero when we come home to being treated like we're something that everybody should be scared of because we suffer from PTSD. And up to 80% of all the veterans that are treated on the VA's methods of treatment are not getting better. Meanwhile, more than 80% of all the veterans that are being treated with service dog intervention are seeing positive results. And those numbers are according to the American Psychological Association, the APA, in their April 2015 journal. And at least 20% of the men and women that are serving our country and providing our freedom are suffering from PTSD. The VA needs to adopt better therapy methods that are proven to be successful. Service dog intervention being the one that's proven to be most successful with treating PTSD. We will look at the problems, causes, and solutions of this epidemic. There are two problems, both the personal and the national level. Problem number one, the personal costs of PTSD, which are very private and they're hard to define. But families are suffering from the soldiers and sailors having a hard time with being able to come back to society and be a functional member of their family through domestic violence, drug and alcohol abuse, and walking around every day feeling like they're on the verge of a mental breakdown. The second problem is that many of the veterans, because of the problems that they're experiencing within themselves, are having a hard time holding a job. Therefore, they're having to lean on our federal government for assistance with the cost of living, and they're needing to seek out treatment for PTSD, which according to the Congressional Budget Office on February 9th, 2012, for every veteran that they treat, it's $8,300 just for treating PTSD per year. Now, with that number put together with the numbers from the Washington Times of close to 2 million or over 2 million veterans having served, and it being between 13 and 20% that are seeking out treatment, we're looking between $2 and $3 billion a year to treat PTSD unsuccessfully. Now, there are two causes that we're going to look at, and those are outdated treatments and high-priced effective treatments. The first cause, the VA is not using the most up-to-date methods. It's been proven that they should by the APA, and they came out with their findings 4 months before the VA's website was last updated on August 14th, 2015, stating that there was no positive results of PTSD therapy dogs. The second cause, the previously mentioned Washington Times stated that the cost of one therapy dog or service dog is $20,000 or more. Soldiers returning home from a deployment generally cannot afford to pull out $20,000 and pay for that dog, and the VA is not willing to. And there are several nonprofits that are helping them with that. However, there's waiting lists for the dogs between 18 months and 3 years just to get a service dog. Now, there are three solutions that we're looking at: a long-term, a short-term, and an immediate. On the long term, we can force the VA to adopt the methods that have been proven to be most effective. On the short term, seeing as how the VA moves slowly, we can give federal funding to the nonprofits so that they can produce more dogs in a faster rate to be able to meet the need. Third, and the immediate, we can reach out through Facebook to support our veterans. There are several groups such as the National Alliance to End Veteran Suicide and Buddy Check 22, just to name a few. You can like them and share them on Facebook and reach out to your friends and family members that way. We've looked at the costs of PTSD both on a personal and national level, the lack of progress that's being made through the VA's treatment methods. We can solve these problems by contacting our lawmakers, spreading the word, and reaching out to our veterans through social media. Service dog intervention is proven to be the most effective treatment for PTSD, and the VA needs to be open to new research and better ways of treating America's veterans. We can support our wounded warriors by calling on our leaders to ensure our veterans in need receive service dogs before it's too late.